Welcome, everybody. The Roar TV episode 5, last one of 2014. Today is Tuesday, December 30th, 2014. Excited to bring to you why New Year's resolutions suck. And what is so exciting is that we have, as the four of us have discussed, like, why they suck, what's good about them. I feel like we could really talk about this for an hour, maybe 2 hours, but then that would be us not taking care of our New Year's resolutions and all of that. So we're going to commit to keeping this to 30 minutes for you guys today and do our best that way. And let me introduce you to my team. We've got Tara, dressed up as the tiger. Say hey, Tara.
Hey, Tara. Oh,
and
hey, guys.
Hi.
And Anjali. We did have Anjali. I don't know where Anjali is because we see her camera, but
wasn't she?
Sorry. My New Year's resolution is to be on time to things. This is. Sorry, guys. I'm so frustrated. Okay, I'm here now.
Awesome. Good for you. New goals. You're setting yourself up for with success and surrounding yourself with accountability partners. So we'll hold you accountable to be on time every Tuesday.
Thought that'd be funny for you guys, you know, set up, just as soon as you guys make a new goal, we thought we would show you what happens. There's an opportunity that usually arises whenever you set a new goal for you to not fulfill on that. So as soon as you make a new weight loss or, fitness goal, that chocolate cake's going to show up to say, are you really committed or are you going to eat me?
So are you saying I have to give this up? Like I have to stop it? Like, wait a second.
I can't enjoy this anymore.
You know what? I'm totally having, this is my last Diet Coke. Last Diet Coke.
Really? Well, I got this really awesome bag of chocolates from somebody. I'm thinking, since they gave it as a gift, I should just eat it. That'd be rude to not eat a gift that somebody gave, right? I mean, dark and white mint chocolate, milk and caramel, dark raspberry chocolate.
I mean, feel obligated, right? We feel obligated. Somebody gave you something. I can't throw it away. I got to keep it. It's going to sit.
Just one won't hurt.
So,
no.
Don't throw that away.
Anjali, you need to share those. You can't eat those all by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a fitness goal, and my fitness goal starts with, well, those would be nice to start with.
Well, how about we just, we'll start our fitness goals January 3rd because we got to allow ourselves to have one more chocolate.
No. Well, let's just know. No, most of the time we're supposed to start on New Year's Day, though, right? But since it's falling on a Thursday, you're saying we probably shouldn't?
Yeah, like enjoy the whole weekend, like take it all in, eat as much shit as you can, and then come,
Monday.
There's a birthday coming up on
Monday. Start Monday.
Well, except for there's a birthday on Monday, so maybe start the next Monday.
Well, actually, I was just talking to my friend, and they have a fitness trainer, and he's full, but he's starting some stuff like the second Monday in January. So I think until the second Monday in January, then we're probably good.
Yeah, I like that. That's really good. So
and this is going to be the year. This will be the year that I get to do a pull-up.
Yeah.
It's going to be with this. Somehow, with these bands.
This will be the year I'm going to have my six-pack because I freaking am not, after that, when we start on Monday, I'm not having
six-pack. I already got it for you.
You do?
Six-pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I didn't see that.
A six-pack.
I don't think she's showing up. When she talks, all I see is a black screen.
Yeah. What's going on with you?
How's that a mirror of my life?
What's happening?
What is happening?
I don't know.
I don't committed to not being seen.
It's all good on my end. And I was showing you my six-pack. Like literally, six-pack.
Of what? Of beer?
Yeah. What
I don't know if you're lifting your shirt up and showing us your real six-pack or if you got a beer going on there.
That's my goal. That's my goal this year. And it's starting January 1st. I mean, January 12th. I mean, you know what? It's starting on the Chinese New Year.
Okay, that sounds good.
I think that's the end of January. It might be even February.
But you know what? You might wake up and realize you just don't feel like it. So just in case you don't feel like it, just have one. Leave it in the fridge or leave the dessert in there.
Yep.
Whatever you got to do. You might want to sleep in. So just in case, hit the snooze button.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So backup plan would be good, right? Have a backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case it doesn't work out.
Yep.
So that backup plan would be something like cake in the fridge for those times you just feel so down, depressed, and everything comes at you, and it's like, ah!
Right.
Then we can just revert to our old patterns and our old habits.
That's right.
Because, like, you know, Tara's over there working out, and she and I, we're going to be partners. Like, we're partners. She's going to show me how to do weights, and I'm going to show her how to do band work. And if we just can't hold each other accountable, then what? Then what do we do?
At least you'll have each other.
None of you guys know. And I'm like, oh, you're screwed.
This is awesome. You know?
We are making a big spoof of it, but in reality, this is what happens. You know, we have these accountability partners, and sometimes even they don't show up. Sometimes it's really it comes down to us. It comes down to the conviction that we have to follow through. And it doesn't matter if it starts today. It doesn't matter if it starts on New Year's Day. It doesn't matter if it starts Chinese New Year. It doesn't matter if it starts Friday, Monday. Like, it doesn't matter. It's when we are committed enough to change something that we're not liking. That's when change happens, and that's when we discover our purpose and our reason and our why, like that holy cause of what is it, why I want this. That's when we get to tap into that, and that's when all of these are counter commitments and all of these other challenges will come up in our space to keep us from hitting that goal or keep us from hitting that New Year's resolution. And quite often, that's why the New Year's resolutions always fail. People think like, oh, it's some magical time of year. I'm going to capitalize on the magic of Christmas, capitalize on the magic of the moment, and I'm going to dive in. I'm going to like just use this time to reflect. And I think that's actually a really good thing about New Year's resolutions. Would you guys agree? Is that people will intentionally reflect on where they are and where they want to go?
Yeah, which is something that, you know, in my opinion, happens for me every week. That's part of my weekly, you know, I look at where I am in regards to what my goals are, and I go, okay, how did my week go as far as what I had wanted to accomplish? So the New Year's resolution and the whole idea of what everybody does there is awesome, but let that be a weekly thing, not a once-a-year thing, and keep refocusing, because it's like the whole concept of, you know, an airplane leaves to head, you know, from point A to point B, and, you know, the majority of the time that airplane is off that straight line course. It is always correcting the whole way to get to the destination. You know,
it would serve us to do course correction daily or weekly, not just yearly. Like that's the reason why so many of these New Year's resolutions, they suck, they fail, we never follow through with them. Something comes up is because we're not course correcting. We're not surrounding ourselves with maybe a group of women, a team of masterminds that we all come together so that we can hold ourselves accountable in that space amongst friends. That's holding a space of truth and honor and integrity. So that course correction that you're talking about with those airplanes could get me to exercise more and consistent.
Yeah, and it depends on the group too, because some groups that you may join might just be like everybody buying into each other's excuses. And, oh, I didn't keep my my workout goals because of this. Oh, you didn't? Oh,
gosh, that's such a struggle. You know what? Come here.
Yeah.
Come cry on my shoulder because, life's hard.
Yeah.
You know what I also found to be true in that is that why are you choosing the goals you're choosing? And I found that I have never stuck to a goal that didn't have a big enough reason for myself only. If I was doing it for someone else, it got tossed right out the window, and I never followed through with it. Really asking yourself why and being willing to admit when you're not committed to something and be okay with that, and then realize, what do I get committed to that serves me?
Yeah. That's a big one. I think that's really important to commit to what is true for us and honor those yeses and nos. Like, don't join some fitness program just because you're like, I don't like the way I look.
Money.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
That's
you're
cool,
honest,
too,
you know, maybe you do like the way you look. Maybe you don't really want the six pack. Maybe you really do like the way you look. You like eating the food that you eat. Don't pretend you don't if you do. And you know, so it's like, what do you want, and why do you want something different? So if you don't really have a reason why, then you're not gonna stick with it. You know.
Well, and I found like the deepest reason why for anyone, and if you guys have heard anything different, but it's really I just want to feel good. All my goals have to really support me feeling good somehow in my life, or I'm not going to stick with it. It's not going to be enjoyable. It's not, and not saying every step of the way will be, but if I'm going to work out, I'm doing it so I feel amazing. If I'm going to do something else, it's so I feel good.
Yep. Yeah, and that reminds me too of I had this fitness goal at one point, and I stopped. I was in really great shape, and I was looking really good, and I started to feel all alone in it. Like I had different friends and family members that I was close to that were not doing the same thing, and I finally got to a point where my fitness was getting really, really great, and I felt all alone in it, and I was like, shit, this is kind of lonely. Maybe I don't want this great fitness and health. And it almost felt painful for me at a point where I thought, okay, and I started letting some of those fitness goals go because I attributed that it meant disconnection and loneliness. And so, I did go back and revert for a little while, and then I went, shit, this feels way worse. So maybe it's time for me to create some new associations and some new friends. And so that's when I joined CrossFit, and I went, you know what, I can still keep my friendships, my family associations, but I'm going to create more support and make new friends with other people that also want fitness. And so I've got a great fitness group of people that I love working out with at CrossFit. So it's huge.
So that brings up a very key point of you are your surroundings. Who do we surround ourselves with? What's our environment like? And how important that is to be able to obtain those goals, to make those goals a reality, to make those dreams a reality, to make those resolutions, be it New Year or Monday morning or whenever, resolutions are reality. That's very important, the environment that we surround ourselves with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Going into that, it also depends on what kind of triggers that we already have set in place. So, for example, if your goal is fitness, but when you come home from work, the first thing that you do is walk in the door, and then you immediately go in and watch TV, and then you grab a bag of chips or whatever it is that you like to munch on while you're eating TV or while you're watching TV. It's the going home right after work is actually a trigger for you because you've been doing it for years. And so you get to disrupt those patterns so that you can set forth new habits. And then the neural pathways in your brain will actually start to change so that you have new habits. So it's a lot like tying a shoe. When you were a little kid, you may have had a really hard time figuring out like which loop goes where and how you do it. And now it's anytime you see your shoe untied, there's a trigger that goes off, and you immediately just tie your shoe, and you really don't even have to think about it. So a lot of the fitness goals and even like making money goals and different things like that, you get to reprogram that. However, a lot of people, once they start to get into like, okay, this is what I want, they don't realize how to get what they want, and so they stop right there, and they'll just be like, okay, well, I don't understand what I want, so I guess I just can't do it. But the first goal should always be understand how to do it or learn how to get what you want, because then you can move forward and allows you to progress. And then this shouldn't be like a New Year's resolution. This gets to be a new resolution every single day. What do I want? What's important to me? and going forward with that, because that's what's going to keep us motivated to keep going and to eventually where this will be a habit for us.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So for all the viewers, I think it's important to write down those two key things that Tara brought up, and that was take inventory of your habits. Whatever your goals are, whether it be, like she said, around fitness or money or business, or it could be some simple things like I'm not going to allow anyone to walk all over me, which that we don't really want to focus on the negative. We want to focus on what the positive outcome is. But write that down. Take inventory of your habits. And then there was one other thing you said. Your skill sets. You talked about your skill sets. So be sure to surround yourself with the environment that Angelique's talking about, how important that is, and then commit to something, and then once you're committed and you're in full alignment and the universe seems to just line up, and you can call it God, you can call it universe, you can call it your divine guidance, whatever that is, it seems to line up, and when we are in alignment, then the how comes, like what Tara was talking about was, well, I don't really know how to lose weight, or I don't really know even what to do when I go to the gym. The how will come. So get clear on what it is you want, because the more clarity you have, the more certain you will be, and more apt to happen. Your goals are more apt to happen the more clarity that you have. Don't get stuck in the why, I guess is what the how. The how will come. Be open to those possibilities and the solutions that come with it.
Yeah, like even with having this YouTube channel, we had to research how we were going to do it, and we've had some technical difficulties along the way, but it's just getting used to the process and then keep going, and also one of the best things is not having or needing it to be perfect. So just doing it, just taking those actions, because my guess is when you first started driving that car, you weren't that great.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's huge. That is one of the biggest things that I know for me and for the people that I have worked with and coached. It has been huge for them to realize, hey, this is like a baby learning to walk. I'm developing a new habit here, and I just get to keep recommitting. I just get to stand back up and keep going. Yeah, I'm going to fall over again until I develop those muscles and that memory, just like a baby when they're walking. And you just got to not be so hard on yourself and realize I'm not going to be perfect at it, but am I willing to get back up, get back in the ring, and keep fighting towards whatever goal it is that you're wanting. It's really huge.
And remember, for all of our viewers, that to be that ruthlessly committed to what it is you say that you're wanting and what you're working towards is very important. But also know that those doubts are going to come in. They're going to come in regardless of what you're going through, regardless really of how much support that you have. Also, the doubts are going to creep in. We're going to start comparing ourselves to others. It's taking us maybe longer to hit a goal than someone else. Maybe you started like so much. It's like killjoy. It's like a killer of all action when we get in that space. So what can I do now? What's important now? What can I do now to get me closer to that goal? What can I do now to move me closer towards what it is I committed to do? And so for instance, like Tara brought up the Roar TV, and when we chose to start this, it's like, okay, well, what's the date we're going to start? We picked a date, and we did whatever it took to get us here in this moment to make it come forth and happen on that date. There was all kinds of stuff that came up. There was all kinds of maybe fears come up, thinking it needs to look perfect, like all these kinds of things that come up in every one of our lives every single day, regardless of the goal that we're wanting to obtain. It comes up. It's come up with several of my own clients. It's come up with myself on numerous occasions, every one of us. But we picked something, we committed to it, we picked a date, made it happen. Execute, 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 execute. Every day, execute something new. It's like just keep doing what works. We discover what works, and we keep doing that.
Yep. The other thing is, so Tara was talking about what are the things that you usually do? What are your normal patterns? So people walk through life and they generally have a certain energy or vibration they carry with them continually that they're just used to. It's very similar to the energy they have when they grew up. And they'll go through life and they'll just have these same habits, whether it's come home and just watch TV or come home and, go to the grocery store. You usually buy the same foods. So disrupting, when you decide what you want, then it's really super important to then disrupt this normal pattern. It's almost like this hypnosis that you're walking around in. And it's about shaking all that up and going, okay, how can I create something new here? I've got to disrupt how I go shopping. I've got to shop differently. Who shops? Who's healthy? Who can I hire that can help me to learn how to shop differently? And so it's disrupting that pattern that you've been living your life in.
Not only that, but starting a new goal is incredibly uncomfortable. Like, it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel natural. And again, just, back to the tying your shoe, that probably didn't feel so good. But at that time, we were so used to learning all these brand new things. Like, everything was so new for us that everything kind of felt uncomfortable at that time. So now that we're so established and we're older and we know how the world works and we know what we like and what we don't like, when we try to do something new, again, it puts us into this uncomfortable zone, but it's in that uncomfort that we actually grow and that we become even more awesome than we already are, and we're all pretty awesome, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it feels awkward just simply because it's new. We have a tendency as humans to judge that what we don't know. And when we're in the middle of doing it, it happens all the time with my clients that as they try on a new pattern, a pattern interrupt is what I like to call it, is pattern interrupt, and they try something new. It's so awkward. It feels weird. It's like, this sounds retarded. This is dumb. This is so dumb. Like that's our first judgment. It's like, that's cool. Judge it. Just keep going with it. You're gonna think it's dumb until you see the results, and the only way we see those results is the action that we take every single day.
Yep. You mean I gotta jump up on these dumb boxes and lift a bar above my head and squat?
No, you gotta pull these bands.
I gotta use these different, weights, and people are gonna judge me and think I look ridiculous. I don't want to go to a gym and other people are going to look at me and I'm not going to do it perfect and I'm not even in great shape yet. So I just can't. I can't do it.
You just got to be okay with looking ridiculous.
It's so true. Be okay with the awkwardness. In fact, make a joke about it. Awkward.
Awkward.
Only awkward if you let it.
But that's what you just brought up about feeling like looking ridiculous. I feel like that's more of a fear than, like, people talk about all the time, fear of death or fear of public speaking and those kinds of things, right? Mm-hmm. And I think if we were to dissect that even more, it would be the fear of being judged, the fear of looking ridiculous, the fear of being vulnerable, the fear, like, it's the fear of others judging us for something that we won't execute it perfectly or do it perfectly. And if we were talking about, like, the fear of public speaking, I think we could dissect it into those kinds of things. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely. And most people aren't willing to face the fear and be uncomfortable and go, you know what, I don't care how ridiculous I look walking on this treadmill or running outside in my neighborhood, wherever it is that you decide to work out. Like, you're usually not going to confront that uncomfortable situation until the pain in your life gets big enough, until you realize, shit, my kids are getting older and I have not been spending the quality time doing fun, adventurous things with them because I'm just too tired. I don't have the energy or the stamina to go play with them. And if the pain's big enough, then you'll finally go, you know what, it's worth it. It's worth it for me to be a little bit uncomfortable and get this weight off of me because I really love and value my children so much it seems more painful for me to let the time go by and not create these memories with them. And that's with any area of life.
But you know what? It's so much less comfortable when you surround yourself with others that are willing to go to that space with you.
That's right.
And that first thought that popped in was being in that space with you girls and with all the other people we're going to be bringing into these events and this show and everything else, and being able to be seen for who they really are. Remove those masks, be in that uncomfortable space together, and literally take off.
Yep.
It makes it more doable. It makes it seem possible. And when we surround ourselves with women, it's in our nature to surround ourselves with other women. That's really how we thrive. That's how we grow. And sure, we can be those one-man bands that we can do it all ourselves, but ultimately, women naturally want that connection. And we as women, we don't just inspire one person, we inspire our entire tribe. And so when we're doing something, you're damn right that we're going to want support. And Jeremy, I love that you brought it up, how important it is to surround ourselves with those people that are wanting those same goals, that are wanting the same goals that we are, so that our path of success is not the path is greater, but our ability to obtain what it is that we want is greater.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last thing or the most important thing really with any type of goal setting is taking the action. If you don't take the action, if you just think about it, thinking about it is great, but it doesn't change anything in your life. It doesn't make anything happen. And so if you take the time to understand what you want, you understand how to get what you want, and then you go forth and you take action towards it. And like, I forgot who said it earlier, but just baby steps, one step at a time. At least you're taking some type of action towards it. And if you have like some type of a failure where you're like, oh man, I just ate like 10 donuts.
So have a plan. Have a plan at that point.
Right. So if we
fail
to plan to fail.
Yeah. And you get to keep going and have those action plans. And yeah, just what do I do if kind of situation. So.
And all of these things that we're bringing up, it's so crucial to your success. Every one of us have our own coaches that we're working with. We have our own mentors that we're working with. That we too, we get stuck too. We have the same kinds of things coming up, and we surround ourselves with that support to help us to move through. And it truly is crucial to your success. We can't stress that enough of how important it is for you women and men that are watching to create that in your life. Yep.
Well, and then creating processes. So breakdowns are going to happen. It's not if or they might, once you set this goal, but they are absolutely going to happen. And so it's crucial that you set yourself up for when those happen, what are the steps you're going to take?
Yeah, and I like that what Tara brought up, when we constantly are thinking about it and we're in that middle of that breakdown and we don't really know what to do, we haven't really educated ourselves that way, we don't have the mindsets, we don't have the skill sets. That's what I call living hell. It's a space between that awareness, that thinking, and the action. So we haven't taken the action, we don't know what to do to move through this, we don't know how to do it maybe. We're having those breakdown moments and you're like, what the hell do I do? Who can I call? How can I move through this? What's the process? What tool I can use? The mindsets and skill sets. So noticing the time. I'm hearing a big echo. Not sure what's going on. But we've got about a minute that you guys would like to add to why new users suck.
Yeah, they just suck because people think that that's the only time to make them, and it's just a big lie. It's like, okay, let's make a New Year's resolution one time for my year, and New Year's resolutions need to be daily and weekly. And
if you're not committed to them, You're not gonna ever get the results you want.
And lastly, I'd have to say, oh, that echoes. So society says you look a certain way. Society says all these really when you want to lose weight, whatever it is, that stuff sucks because it's not true in you and what's your heart, what's your true desire.
Not sure why all of a sudden the echo, but we're choosing to end it here. You can get a hold of us through our Facebook page. Each one of us personally. Carissa Warren, Carrie, and Angelique Corner. Or Carrie Baker. Angelique Corner. You can get a hold of us personally. You can get a hold of us through our UpRoarious live page on Facebook. Always email us. We have live events that are happening. The next one that's coming up is January for women only. More information, reach out to we can get you involved in that. Maybe some coaching and group coaching, whatever that looks like. Reach out to us. Let's have a conversation. In the meantime, enjoy the New Year celebrations. Enjoy all the things that you guys choose to do to bring in the new year and have fun. Remember, life is about fun. Find the humor in all of our follies and go out there and enjoy.
Yep.
You heard it twice. You know it today.
All right. We'll see you guys. We'll catch you next Tuesday.
All right. Have a great one.